Hello and welcome everyone back for another indie game review. I'm HatTopGaming, and today's episode is all about the temperature checking, rat killing, and quota meeting game in Quarantine Zone: The Last Checkpoint, the first ever job simulator game about working a survivor checkpoint during the zombie apocalypse. So put your hazmat suit on and grab your tools as we dive into just how hard this job can prove to be, and whether or not you should think about applying for it when the opportunity comes. Just as always, we'll be going over the same three things in story, gameplay, and performance before giving the game a rating out of 10. And make sure to stick around to the end of the video for a sneak peek on my next review. But with all that out of the way, let's begin. Starting off with the story, it's more so just a series of ever increasing tasks and rules and protocols to follow. Like with other job simulator games, it really doesn't try to overcomplicate what you're doing, but rather just letting you do as you're expected to, with some wacky things going on occasionally to keep you on your toes. But of course, here they do their best to simulate what a health checkpoint for a survivor camp would entail, as we don't quite know just yet. Every other day, the general will radio in and give you new orders to follow, and sometimes you'll get new tools to detect new symptoms. That's really it story wise. There is a good and a bad ending though, but once you start playing, I'm sure you'll figure out how to get which. Besides that, though, the only real story thing is that you have to reach a certain quota, basically meaning the amount of survivors that you actually ship out at the end of every week. But aside from that, it's all just about doing the job and just following protocol. Moving on to the start of the show, though, of course, it's the gameplay. It comes down to three or four things, but they're all sort of intertwined, of course. First things first is checking the survivor for symptoms, checking their vital signs, reflexes, lungs, x ray, MMR, and more. You'll have a list of possible symptoms you can find with varying levels of severity that will help you determine whether or not you think a survivor is infected. Also, be aware not every symptom is known off rip, meaning survivors with new or unknown symptoms must be sent to the laboratory to uncover what new symptom they could possibly have. That aside, though, after marking everything down on their chart, you designate them to one of three zones: the survivor camp if you think they're healthy, the kill room if you think they're infected, or quarantine if you're unsure. There you'll be able to hold them and check on them daily until you make a decision either way. But of course, there's only so many available spots in the quarantine area, so prepare to make some tough choices. Your end goal, of course, is to get as many healthy survivors out as possible. You have a weekly quota to meet, and if you don't, someone else will. Alongside this, you'll be rarely given extra tasks to do, whether it be confiscating extra contraband, finding, executing certain survivors, and more. The better you do, the more science points you earn, and for every survivor you clear into the camp, you get $400. You need as much as you can get, as you need to constantly upgrade your facilities. But be warned, kill a healthy survivor on accident because you thought they were infected, and it's going to cost you $1,000. Your facilities all operate on a single generator, which you need to buy fuel for or everything will shut off. The facilities in question are the quarantine zone, the tent space for survivors, medical facility, laboratory, and the mess hall, all of which are needed in order to not only house the survivors, but keep them fed and healthy until they can be evacuated. They all cost money to keep stockpiled and of course have a daily fuel cost. The money you earn is used to keep things stockpiled to buy upgrades, and your science points are used in similar fashion, but are more directly tied to upgrading your tools used for scanning for infection. One hand washes the other, essentially. The last thing you need to worry about, of course, is the zombies themselves. While they won't be charging the gates in the middle of the day, you will have to keep an eye out for them, as the infected survivors that you brought in can also turn in the middle of the camp. Besides that, you will also be woken up in the middle of the night on occasion due to hordes charging the walls. You'll use a special drone that has mounted guns on it to fight them back, and as time goes on, you'll automatically be given upgrades for it, as to keep it fair with the increasing amount of zombies each time. While it's not a major part of the game, and it doesn't really need to be, I did enjoy the small breaks in between once I kind of got the hang of it, because I'm not going to lie, the drone's a little loose. Turning down the sensitivity didn't really help too much. It's more so just getting used to the actual feel of the drone. Lastly, now let's switch over to talk about performance real quick. I was playing the game via the Xbox ROG X on Game Pass. I was playing at 17-watt performance mode, which kept me at a stable 30 to 45 frames per second. I didn't run any bugs or glitches, no stuttering or freezing. Overall, performance wise, there really wasn't an issue. I will say graphically, there was definitely something to be desired, and it comes down to two key points. Number one being that some symptoms are not easy to diagnose due to where it is on the body or because how the person looks skin complexion wise, the different color variations, and other issues coming from the game's lower graphical style look. Not only that, but some symptoms look like others, so defining which is which can be very annoying sometimes when you don't have the room to quarantine more survivors, so you're forced to make a decision about them. Which wouldn't matter except for the fact that you lose $1,000 if you kill a healthy survivor. I don't know if distinguishing certain symptoms was meant to be hard, but it came off more like a graphical limitation rather than something that was done on purpose. I mean, one look at the game and you'll see what I mean. Everything is very basic and plain looking, like with most job simulator games, so I guess I can kind of give it a pass on that, but in a game like this, I would kind of hope for a little bit more style. Speaking of, there's very few survivor models. We see the same 3 or 4 faces and body types constantly. There's very little variety among the survivors, but again, that's just more so a small thing of note that I caught on to. So in the end, where does Quarantine Zone: The Last Checkpoint land with me? Well, for starters, I like to say this is my first ever job simulator game that I'd actually ever played and completed. I have personally never been curious about this genre of game, as I never much saw much point of it, but hey, that's just one of those things I don't get, right? Obviously, a game like this doesn't need a story, and from what I see, most of these games tend to look and feel the same way. Not a whole lot of variety, and some sort of stale gameplay at times, but I imagine that's sort of the point. It's a job simulator after all. I played the game over the course of about a month, which ironically is how long game days you had to work through in the game. There was a steady amount of changes that occurred that helped mix up the gameplay, and I did in fact get the good ending. It took me about 11 hours and 20 minutes, where I got 23 of the 25 achievements unlocked. For those of you who would like getting every achievement in a game, it's very easy to. You'll just need to do 2 complete playthroughs. While this isn't my kind of game, and I don't think I'll feel any desire to tap back into the genre, I did enjoy my time with the game for what it was. Ultimately, I felt like I got what I wanted out of it. As a huge fan of anything zombie related, it was nice to get a taste of something different and very unique in my eyes. Some shortcomings here and there, and the game does in fact feel like work sometimes, but again, I feel like that's just kind of going through the motions, and it's what should be expected, I would think, out of a genre like this. I mean, again, it's a job simulator, so it should kind of feel like work, right? I would give it an 8 out of 10. $20 does seem a little steep to me, but when on sale for 16, that seems a lot more reasonable. But again, I did play this via Game Pass, so essentially I got to play it for free. So take that with a grain of salt. If you have Game Pass yourself, I highly recommend you play this game, as I mean, you already have the option to, so why not? And if you're thinking about buying it, I think I would buy this game for 15 bucks. I think there's enough there to entertain you. But that's gonna do it for me today, guys. Hope you all enjoyed today's review. It was nice to talk to you guys about a game and genre that I've never experienced before. If you like job simulator games, tell me what you think about this one down in the comment section down below. If you're like me and you don't fancy this kind of stuff, I would encourage you to try this one anyways. If you have any other comments, questions, or concerns, make sure to leave a comment down below and I'll make sure to get back to you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm HatTopGaming. Don't forget to follow me on social media. Hope you all have a good day, and I will see you all later. Peace.
Jonathan will find this place. You must know that.
He will not. It's on no maps, no registries.
Why bring us here? Why take such a risk?
You are the key to a lock, my birthright. I will take what I am owed.
No, I suspect you will be given what you deserve.